winter nights. Meanwhile, his family was frantically posting on social media and calling shelters to see if anyone could find him. Finally, they got a call saying that someone found him in Ridgeway, nearly 100 miles from where he was lost.
He's back home and he's back to his regular routine and just super happy. We're all very happy to have him home.
I would say that's the biggest life lesson that we learned is be nice to people and help them out. You don't know what they're going through.
Yeah, well, Harold, or Mr. Smooch, as he's known there, is back and clearly loves being back with the family. They said they're sharing the story so other families who might have lost pets stay hopeful.
You are watching Denver 7 News at 8 o'clock now on Local 3, and in 1 hour, the fully renovated Table Mesa King Soopers in Boulder will reopen. How the store and community are first paying tribute to the shooting victims nearly a year later.
Plus, production is paused on one of the 3 COVID vaccines available in the U.S., why the plant is reportedly redirecting its efforts.
Also putting in a bid for the Broncos, the billionaire who could make league history if his offer is accepted. The team is expected to fetch $4 billion in the deal. We'll see if that translates to a few more wins on the field. You know, still looking for a quarterback.
I'm still trying to pull some money from the station here if we want to buy it.
It's amazing
How many
to me that
I'm just a few dollars short so far.
Just a
a pile of about $18 right now.
Maybe if we got all our viewers, the entire city involved.
Why don't we have the city buy the team?
We can start a GoFundMe for the city to buy the team.
I love that
It's
idea.
happened before, right? Well, good morning to you. I'm Brian Sanders.
Yeah, I'm Nicole Brady. Lisa and Jason here. And Lisa, it's going to be a pretty mild day out there again.
All week long. I mean, it's been gorgeous. The biggest change you're going to see this morning will be a little bit more cloud cover early on. We'll be right around 40 degrees here by 9 o'clock. Pleasant dog walking conditions. Mild temperatures this afternoon, hitting highs again right around 50 degrees. So right now, again, you can see there from City Park, again, watching as that snow just continues to melt there on the grass. We're right now at 31, close to freezing, with, again, a partly sunny sky for the early morning drive. Getting a bit of a break from that bright eastbound drive. We're looking at highs, though, this afternoon that'll once again be well into the 30s and 40s in the foothills. Evergreen 44, Allens Park 33, Denver 50, Keensburg 50, and in Parker a high of 48. So very similar to what we've seen both Monday and Tuesday. Now the mountains will see a bit more of a change. More cloud cover there and a chance for some light snow. Very light, though, expecting likely less than an inch up and through the mountains. Now coming up, there's a chance we're going to see some snow here in town Friday night. I'll show you that. Plus, we've got your full weekend forecast. Also, it's going to be 60 someday this Super 7 Day. I'll show you when. Not going to tell you yet.
Okay, don't. We have a overall pretty heavy drive in a lot of spots, unfortunately. And if you hear about a lot of crashes, there have been some, but they're pretty minor at this point and really not slowing us down too much. I want to take you to downtown Denver. You see 30 minutes from the north side to downtown. This is some of that congestion passing I-70, getting down past 38th and going all past Mile High. And then it starts to ease up a little bit. And then, as you can see on the map, we do have to deal with all that heavy stop and go traffic to the Denver Tech Center. This is 270, I-70. If you ever crash on that eastbound side near 225, it's way over to the side now. Earlier crash over on Sheridan over by First, really not a big deal for us there. 225 has been busy for us, and the south side of town also been pretty busy, including with the wreck that's on C470, not too far from University. It's just a little pocket of slowing in there. It's way over to the side, and if you hear of one on Hamden right near between Federal and Sheridan, it's not a big deal at all, just slowing, natural slowing, going in over to Knox Court and Lowell over there on that west side of town.
Well, it is an emotional morning in Boulder with a lot of sadness still, but a show of strength as well. The Boulder King Soopers on Table Mesa Drive will open its doors for the first time in nearly a year this morning. But before shoppers are welcomed inside, there will be a time to pause and remember the 10 people killed in a mass shooting there last March.
This morning, we are taking you inside the remodeled store to show you the changes. We'll also show you how the city's museum is turning all of those mementos left at the store's fence into a powerful memorial, and how a scholarship is helping one victim's legacy live on. Let's start with a look at the renovations. Denver 7 got an inside look at the remodeled store. Some of the changes are on the outside. They include the large windows you see here across the storefront and a reconfigured parking lot. Then inside there are higher ceilings and more light. Although it might be hard for many people walking back into the store today, King Soopers says this is an important part of the community and it's time to welcome people back.
This store means so much to this community. It means so much to our associates, and from day one, our associates wanted their store back, and the community continually told us that they wanted this location back. It's, if you will, a gathering place for people, and we are really excited to welcome them back.
There is one more plan for later this year. On the west corner of the lot, a garden will be planted with 10 trees representing the 10 victims. And that's not the only way they'll be remembered.
You might remember after the shooting, there was a huge memorial growing outside the store along the fence line with flowers, a lot of touching messages, and some sentimental items. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta continues our coverage from Boulder this morning out in front of the store, but a lot of those mementos will be preserved now in a museum.
Preserved for everyone to come take a look at. Brian, if you remember, 11 months ago, this place looked a lot different than it does this morning. There was that fence that was surrounding the South Boulder King Super, a fence that had handwritten notes on it from both adults and children remembering all 10 of those victims. There were also flowers, teddy bears, unique artwork, you name it. It was all hung up on that fence. And again, you'll be able to see it at the Museum of Boulder very soon.
Like, it's not going to get thrown away. It's not going to just disappear. Like, it will still be in the public trust and will still be available to the community to help with healing and, research in the future and any, myriad of other opportunities and purposes for it.
Months after the shooting here at King Soopers, museum staff, they started slowly and carefully taking down the hundreds of mementos that were posted up on that fence. They actually took them across the street from where we are this morning, George Reynolds Library's basement. Every single day, some of those staff members would show up. They would sift through all of those mementos one by one, choosing some of them to be a part of this exhibit at the museum and others to give to family members of those victims.
It was very sombering to view. I mean, it just hits you in the face when you go down there and you see the names and the tributes and how much the people meant. And even if they didn't know anybody who was involved in that, everybody in the community was affected, and they wanted to show support and they wanted to pay tribute to the people who were injured and killed.
And it'll be called the Boulder Strong exhibit. Again, it'll be over at the Museum of Boulder. It opens up in just 9 days on February 18th. And again, everyone and anyone is welcome to go and take a look at all of those mementos. We're live in Boulder this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Yeah, such an important piece of the healing process there, Veronica. Thank you. We also want to take a moment to pause and remember the 10 people killed in the shooting. Denny Stong, Nevin Stanisic, Ricky Olds, Trelana Bartowiak, Suzanne Fountain, Terry Leiker, Officer Eric Talley, Kevin Mahoney, Lynn Murray, and Jody Waters. We've preserved their stories from their family and friends on our website, thedenverchannel.com, and on the Denver 7 Plus app. You can read them at any time.
The city of Colorado Springs will pay nearly $3 million to the family of Devon Bailey. The 19-year-old was shot and killed by a Colorado Springs police officer in August of 2019. Police had stopped Bailey and his cousin for questioning about a robbery when Bailey tried to run away. Body camera video from the officer shows him shooting Bailey while Bailey's back was turned. A grand jury later ruled the officer's actions were justified under Colorado's fleeing felon law. In addition to money, the settlement also includes multiple policy changes for the Springs Police Department, including annual anti-bias training.
The only Johnson & Johnson facility making usable batches of its single-shot coronavirus vaccine is temporarily pausing production. The New York Times reports the Netherlands-based plant is now focusing on making a different, possibly more profitable vaccine aimed at a different virus. It could reduce supply of J&J's COVID vaccine by hundreds of millions of doses. J&J is preparing to have the plant restart COVID vaccine production in March. We now know one of the people planning to bid on the Broncos. Billionaire and media mogul Byron Allen says he wants to buy the team. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joins us this morning because, Colette, this decision comes at a time when the spotlight is on diversity in the NFL.
Yeah, Brian, the Denver Broncos are one of 3 teams facing a discrimination lawsuit from former head coach candidate Brian Flores, claiming racist hiring practices and other injustices in the NFL. Flores says teams conducted sham interviews with him just to meet the league's Rooney Rule, which mandates minority candidates must be considered for coaching vacancies. In 2019, Flores says he was interviewed by CEO Joe Ellis and team president John Elway. He says they were late and hungover. The Broncos say those claims are blatantly false. Elway says he took Flores very seriously as a candidate. If Byron Allen were to buy the Broncos, he'd be the first black majority owner of an NFL team. In a statement reported by the Denver Post, he says he'll bring positive change to the league. Athletics and Beyond, a nonprofit helping at-risk youth in the Denver metro on the field and in the classroom, says if the NFL is truly interested in diversity, they need to start recruiting diverse talent at the top of every organization.
Society teaches black and brown children in specific how to be employees. They do very little to teach them how to be employers.
Our partners at the Denver Post have a sports industry source who tells them trustees will accept the highest qualified bidder. Colette, Bordelon, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Colette. Still ahead this morning, the Tri-County Health Department is now facing a $50 million lawsuit over retirement obligations. And
I think we're just all excited that we get to do this thing again.
How not scaling back, how the return of the Boulder is helping to add a sense of normalcy to a community impacted by tragedies all within the past year.